Alien thugs stole an elderly alien's food bag, but a human tripped them and got it back. The bustling alien metropolis of Port Nexus hummed with activity as Liam Bradley stepped off the interplanetary shuttle. His broad shoulders and athletic frame drew occasional glances from the diverse crowd of extraterrestrial beings flowing around him. The scent of unfamiliar spices and the hum of alien languages created a sensory tapestry that reminded him just how far he was from Earth. Liam adjusted his dark blue travel jacket and ran a hand through his short sandy hair. After 6 months ferrying supplies between remote colonies, he'd earned this shore leave. The credits in his account wouldn't last forever, but they'd buy him a decent meal and maybe something interesting to bring back to his quarters on the transport ship. "Watch yourself, Earthling," growled a bulky, four-armed alien as it shouldered past him. Liam nodded politely. "No problem, friend." The central marketplace sprawled before him, a chaotic blend of neon signs, holographic advertisements, and makeshift stalls. Merchants hawked everything from exotic fruits to contraband tech. Port Nexus existed in that perfect gray area, technically under Galactic Alliance jurisdiction, but far enough from the core worlds that regulations were treated more like suggestions. As Liam navigated through the crowd, a commotion erupted ahead. Two tall figures in sleek black suits with glowing, skull-shaped holographic masks shoved their way through the throng. Between them, an elderly alien with emerald skin tumbled to the ground, his belongings scattering across the dirty pavement. "My capsules!" the old alien cried out, his large obsidian eyes widening in distress as one of the masked figures snatched up a small bag from the ground. Without hesitation, Liam calculated the thieves' trajectory and moved. As the masked figure sprinted past, he extended his leg at precisely the right moment. The lead thief went down hard, tumbling into his partner. The stolen bag flew from their grasp, skidding across the ground. "What the hell?" The first thief's voice was electronically distorted through the mask. Liam scooped up the bag and backed away, keeping his eyes on the thieves. "Looking for this?" The second thief reached inside his jacket. "You've made a serious mistake, human." "I don't think so," Liam replied, his voice calm but firm. He'd faced worse than these two during his time with Earth's expeditionary forces. A small crowd had gathered, and the thieves seemed to reconsider their options. With a final threatening gesture, they melted back into the crowd. Liam turned to the elderly alien, who was being helped to his feet by a concerned passerby. "I believe these belong to you, sir." The old alien's face creased with relief as Liam handed him the bag. "Thank you, young man. Those energy capsules are worth more than you know, both in credits and to me personally." "Just glad I could help," Liam replied. "I am Elon Taris," the old alien said, brushing dust from his ornate robes. "And you have done far more than simply help. Those energy capsules are rare medicinal supplements that keep my heart functioning properly." Liam extended his hand. "Liam Bradley." Elon looked at the offered hand with curiosity before grasping it with his three-fingered hand. "You are from Earth, yes? I have heard your kind are impulsive, but today I am grateful for it." "Some might call it impulsive. I prefer to think of it as decisive," Liam said with a slight smile. Elon's large eyes studied him. "Indeed. Tell me, Mr. Bradley, what brings you to Port Nexus?" "Shore leave. I work transport runs between the outer colonies." "A noble profession," Elon nodded. "Transport pilots are the lifeblood of our galactic community." He paused, seeming to consider something. "I would be honored if you would join me for a meal at my estate. It is the least I can offer for your assistance." Liam hesitated. His plans had involved nothing more ambitious than finding a decent bar. "My farm is not far from the city," Elon continued. "I grow some of the finest produce in this sector, and I assure you, the food will be compatible with human physiology." Liam grinned. "When you put it that way, how can I refuse?" As they made their way to the transit station, Liam noticed Elon was greeted with respectful nods by many of the aliens they passed. The old farmer clearly held some standing in the community. "Those thieves?" Liam asked as they boarded a sleek hover tram. "Any idea who they were?" Elon's expression darkened. "The Phantom Syndicate has been growing bolder lately. They typically target shipments, not individuals. This was unusual." "You think they targeted you specifically?" "Perhaps," Elon said thoughtfully, "but let us not dwell on unpleasantness. Tell me about Earth. I have never had the pleasure of visiting. As the tram carried them away from the city center toward the agricultural district, Liam found himself enjoying the old alien's company. There was something genuinely warm about Elon that transcended species differences. What Liam didn't notice were the two figures watching from the shadows of the transit station, their skull masks deactivated, but their attention fixed firmly on the departing tram. "The boss isn't going to like this," one muttered. "Forget the boss," the other replied. "That human just made this personal." The hover tram glided silently over lush agricultural fields that stretched to the horizon. As they crested a gentle hill, Elon's estate came into view, and Liam couldn't suppress a low whistle of appreciation. "That's quite a farm you've got there," he said. The farm was a sprawling complex of elegant, curved structures that seemed to grow organically from the landscape. Transparent domes housed vibrant crops in every color imaginable, while sleek buildings with reflective surfaces caught the light of the setting sun. "Merely a humble operation," Elon replied with a twinkle in his obsidian eyes that suggested he enjoyed Liam's reaction, "though I admit it has grown somewhat over the decades." As they disembarked at a private landing pad, Liam noticed several security drones patrolling the perimeter, high-end models with military-grade sensors, not standard equipment for a typical agricultural operation. "You must grow some valuable produce," Liam commented casually. Elon's expression revealed nothing. In these times, one cannot be too careful. A tall, muscular alien with blue-gray skin and a rigid posture approached them. "Sir, we were concerned when you didn't return on schedule." "Ah, Krell, always vigilant," Elon said warmly. "I had a minor incident in the marketplace, but this human gentleman came to my assistance. Liam Bradley, this is Krell, my head of security." Krell's 4 eyes narrowed slightly as he assessed Liam. "Thank you for helping my employer, Mr. Bradley." "Just Liam is fine," he replied, meeting the security chief's gaze steadily. "Grandfather," a melodic voice called from the entrance of the main building. Liam turned to see a striking figure approaching them. The woman moved with fluid grace, her long silver hair catching the last rays of sunlight. Her skin held the same emerald tint as Elon's, but seemed to glow with an inner luminescence. Her amethyst eyes widened slightly when they fell on Liam. "Lenara, my dear," Elon said, "this is Liam Bradley, a human who prevented some rather unsavory characters from stealing my medication today." Lenara's expression shifted from surprise to suspicion. "How fortunate you were there at precisely the right moment." "Just good timing," Liam replied with an easy smile. "Or bad timing for the thieves." Her eyes narrowed, but Liam caught a flicker of something else in her gaze. Curiosity, perhaps. "And now you're here, at our private estate." "At my invitation," Elon interjected. "The least I could do was offer a proper meal to thank him." Lenara's posture remained tense. "Of course, grandfather. I'll inform the kitchen staff." She turned to Liam. "I hope you find our hospitality satisfactory." As she walked away, Liam couldn't help but notice the elegant way her dress accentuated her figure. He also didn't miss the subtle glance she cast over her shoulder, catching him watching her. Elon chuckled. "You must forgive my granddaughter. She is protective of me and our work." "Your work?" Liam asked. "I thought this was a farm." "It is, primarily," Elon replied, guiding Liam toward the main building. "But before I retired to agriculture, I was a research scientist specializing in energy conversion. Old habits die hard, I suppose." The interior of the main building was even more impressive than its exterior. Soaring ceilings, elegant furnishings that blended organic materials with advanced technology, and large windows overlooking the fields and distant mountains. "This is quite a place for a retired scientist," Liam remarked. "My innovations have been profitable," Elon said modestly. "Please make yourself comfortable while I freshen up. Dinner will be served shortly." Left alone, Liam wandered to a large window. The sun had set, and the farm's automated systems were activating, soft lighting illuminating pathways between fields, maintenance drones moving methodically among the crops. In the distance, beyond the farm's perimeter, he noticed a faint movement in the tree line. "See something interesting?" Lenara's voice came from behind him. Liam turned. She had changed into a more casual outfit, though it still emphasized her lithe form. "Just admiring the view." "I'm sure," she replied, a hint of sarcasm in her tone. She approached, standing close enough that he could detect a subtle, exotic fragrance. "So Liam Bradley, What brings a human to this sector? We don't see many of your kind this far from the main trade routes. I go where the work takes me, he answered. Transport pilot. Nothing glamorous. And yet you intervene in street crimes and accept dinner invitations to remote estates. Her amethyst eyes studied him intently. Curious behavior for a simple pilot? Liam met her gaze. Maybe I'm not that simple. A slight smile played at the corners of her mouth. Few things in this galaxy are... The tension between them was palpable. Suspicion mingled with undeniable attraction. The capsules you recovered, she said after a moment. Did you look inside the bag? No, Liam replied honestly. Not my business. Something in her expression softened slightly. Interesting. Most would have been curious. I respect privacy, he said, though I admit I'm beginning to wonder what was so valuable that it attracted those masked thieves. Lenara stepped closer, her voice dropping to a near whisper. Perhaps if you prove trustworthy, you might find out. Before Liam could respond, Elon returned. I see you two are getting acquainted. Excellent. Shall we proceed to dinner? As they followed Elon to the dining room, Liam glanced once more out the window. This time he was certain. There was movement in the darkness beyond the farm's perimeter, and it wasn't the security drones. Dinner had been a surprisingly pleasant affair. Despite Lenara's initial suspicion, conversation flowed easily as Elon shared stories of his scientific career and Liam recounted tales of his travels through the galaxy. The food, a delicate blend of local produce prepared in a style accommodating to human tastes, was exceptional. Now, hours later, Liam lay awake in the luxurious guest quarters. His military instincts wouldn't let him dismiss what he'd seen at the perimeter. The digital chronometer on the bedside table read 2:37 local time. With practiced silence, Liam slipped from the bed. He'd kept his clothes within reach, an old habit from his days in Earth's expeditionary forces. The estate was quiet as he moved through the darkened corridors, pausing occasionally to listen for any movement. At a side entrance, he disabled the alarm using a technique he'd picked up during security detail on Proxima Centauri. The cool night air greeted him as he stepped outside, staying close to the shadows of the building. The estate's automated security systems were impressive but predictable. Liam observed their patterns for several minutes before plotting a course toward the section of perimeter where he'd noticed the disturbance earlier. As he approached the tree line, a faint sound caught his attention, the subtle crunch of vegetation underfoot. Someone was trying to move quietly and failing. Liam crouched behind a decorative boulder and waited. 3 figures emerged from the trees, their forms barely visible in the dim light. They wore the same skull mask, holographic disguises as the thieves from the marketplace, but their movements suggested military training. Perimeter sensors disabled on this section, one whispered, the voice distorted through the mask. We have 20 minutes before the system resets. Remember, the old man is secondary, another replied. The human is the primary target. Director Trex wants him alive. Liam frowned. Director Trex? This wasn't just about revenge for a foiled theft. Someone had specifically targeted him. What about the granddaughter? The third asked. Collateral. Use her as leverage if needed. That was all Liam needed to hear. As the infiltrators moved toward the main compound, he circled behind them, using the landscaping as cover. The first infiltrator never saw him coming. Liam struck with precision, a quick blow to the nerve cluster at the base of the alien's skull, a technique that worked on most humanoid species. The masked figure dropped without a sound. The second intruder turned just in time to see Liam lunging toward him. They grappled briefly before Liam drove his knee into the alien's midsection, following with an elbow strike to the temple. The skull mask flickered and died as the second infiltrator collapsed. The third, more alert than his companions, managed to draw a compact energy pistol. Liam dove as a bolt of blue energy sizzled past his ear, scorching the ornamental shrub behind him. Syndicate scum! Liam growled, rolling to his feet and charging forward. The infiltrator fired again, but Liam was already inside his guard. A quick twist disarmed the alien, sending the weapon clattering across the garden path. The infiltrator fought back with surprising strength, landing a solid blow to Liam's ribs. Liam grunted but maintained his grip. Who's Trex? He demanded, twisting the alien's arm behind its back. Instead of answering, the infiltrator triggered something on his wrist. A high-pitched whine emanated from the device. An alarm. Damn it, Liam muttered, delivering a knockout blow to the alien's head. But it was too late. The signal had been sent. A distant crash confirmed his fears. There were more infiltrators and they'd just made their move on the main house. Liam sprinted back toward the compound, his mind racing. If they were after him, why target Elon's estate? Unless the energy capsules were more valuable than he'd realized. As he rounded the corner of the main building, he spotted two more masked figures climbing through a shattered window, heading directly for the residential wing where Linera's quarters were located. Without hesitation, Liam scaled the exterior wall using decorative stonework as handholds. He pulled himself through the broken window just in time to see one of the infiltrators disappearing down the hallway toward Linera's room. The second intruder turned, surprised by Liam's entrance. "The human! Alert!" Liam silenced him with a swift strike to the throat, followed by a disabling blow to the knee. The alien crumpled, gasping. Alarms were blaring throughout the compound now. Liam sprinted down the hallway, following the first infiltrator's path. He rounded a corner just as a door burst open. Linera's door. The infiltrator emerged, dragging a struggling Linera by her silver hair. Her nightclothes were disheveled, and fury blazed in her amethyst eyes. "Let her go," Liam commanded, his voice deadly calm. The masked figure pressed a blade against Linera's throat. "Back off, human, or she bleeds." Linera's eyes met Liam's. In that brief exchange, something passed between them, a plan without words. "The capsules," the infiltrator demanded. "Where are they?" "In my grandfather's lab," Linera replied, her voice steady despite the blade at her throat. "You're going to take me there. Now." "I don't think so," Liam said, taking a deliberate step forward. In that instant, Linera made her move. She drove her elbow hard into her captor's midsection while simultaneously twisting away from the blade. The infiltrator staggered, and Liam closed the distance in two rapid strides, delivering a powerful blow that sent the alien crashing into the wall. The skull mask shattered, revealing a reptilian face with yellow eyes that glared with hatred. "You okay?" Liam asked Linera, not taking his eyes off the downed infiltrator. "I am now," she replied, her breathing rapid. "How did you know they were coming?" "Saw something at the perimeter earlier. Couldn't sleep, so I decided to check it out." Linera's expression softened. "You saved me." "You saved yourself," Liam corrected with a small smile. "I just helped with the cleanup." The sound of running footsteps announced the arrival of Krell and his security team. "The perimeter's been breached," Krell exclaimed, then paused, taking in the scene. "I see you're already aware." "There are 3 more by the eastern tree line," Liam informed him. "Unconscious, but they won't stay that way for long." Krell's 4 eyes blinked in surprise. "You neutralized 3 infiltrators? Alone?" "He's not just a transport pilot," Linera said, a new respect in her voice as she studied Liam. "Are you?" Before Liam could respond, Elon appeared, looking shaken but unharmed. "Is everyone all right?" The alarms. "We're fine, grandfather," Linera assured him. Thanks to Liam, Elon's large eyes widened. "It seems I owe you yet another debt, young man." "Who's Director Trex?" Liam asked, turning to Krell. One of them mentioned that name. Krell and Elon exchanged alarmed glances. "If Trex is involved," Elon said gravely, "then this is far worse than I feared." "We need to move quickly," Elon said, his voice steady despite the chaos. "Krell, secure the captives and strengthen the perimeter defenses. I fear this is only the first wave." Krell nodded sharply and began issuing orders to his security team. "Grandfather," Linera said, her hand unconsciously finding Liam's arm, "we should show him." Elon studied Liam for a long moment, his large eyes unreadable. "Yes, I believe we must." "Follow me." They moved swiftly through the compound, Elon leading them to what appeared to be a storage facility adjacent to one of the larger greenhouses. Inside, amid crates of farming equipment, Elon pressed his palm against a seemingly ordinary wall panel. A hidden door slid open, revealing a sleek elevator. "My farm is more than it appears," Elon explained as they descended, "as is everything in my life." The elevator opened into a vast underground laboratory that stretched farther than Liam could see. Advanced equipment hummed with energy, and holographic displays flickered with complex equations and molecular structures. "Holy shit," Liam whispered, taking in the scale of the operation. "Eloquently put," Linera said with a small smile. Still standing close to him, Elon moved to a central workstation. For 30 years, I've been developing what I call harmonic fusion, a revolutionary energy technology that could end resource scarcity across the galaxy. He activated a holographic display showing a pulsing, star-like core of energy. Traditional fusion is inefficient and unstable. My process harnesses the natural resonance frequencies of subatomic particles to create a self-sustaining reaction that produces virtually unlimited clean energy with minimal input. The capsules I recovered, Liam said, understanding dawning, they contain the catalyst for this process? Precisely, Elon nodded, impressed. The capsules contain rusonium, a compound I synthesized that stabilizes the reaction. Without it, harmonic fusion would be merely theoretical. And this director Trex wants it, Liam concluded. Trex heads the Helix Consortium, Lenara explained, her face darkening. They control energy production in 3 sectors. If grandfather's technology becomes widely available, their monopoly collapses, Liam finished. But why target me specifically? Elon and Lenara exchanged glances. Because you're human, Elon said simply. Humans have a unique reputation in the galaxy. Your species accomplished in centuries what took others millennia. Your adaptability, your resourcefulness, your capacity for both violence and compassion, it makes you unpredictable. And dangerous, Lenara added, her amethyst eyes studying Liam with new intensity. Trex doesn't just want the technology, he wants to eliminate any human involvement. Your kind would ensure this discovery benefits everyone, not just those who can pay. Liam absorbed this, feeling a surge of pride in humanity's galactic reputation. So what's the plan? I'm guessing those goons upstairs weren't Trex's only resources. We need to get the research and remaining rusonium samples to the Galactic Science Council, Elon said. They can protect the discovery and ensure its ethical distribution. But first, Lenara interjected, we need to survive the night. She turned to Liam, her expression softening. You should rest. There's a recovery room through there with medical supplies for your injuries. Liam hadn't even noticed the bruises forming from his fight with the infiltrators. I'm fine. Stubborn, Lenara said, shaking her head. Another human trait. Come, I insist. As Elon busied himself securing research data, Lenara led Liam to a small medical bay. The door slid shut behind them, creating a sudden intimacy in the confined space. Remove your shirt, she instructed, retrieving a medical device from a nearby cabinet. Liam raised an eyebrow but complied, wincing slightly as he pulled the fabric over his head. Lenara's breath caught audibly as she took in his muscular torso, now marked with several darkening bruises. You fought 5 trained operatives single-handedly, she said, her voice soft with wonder. All in a day's work, Liam replied with a half-smile, trying to ignore the electricity he felt as her fingers gently traced the edge of a bruise on his ribs. You humans, she murmured, activating the medical device which emitted a soft blue glow. So fragile compared to many species, yet so remarkably resilient. The device sent waves of soothing warmth through his injured muscles as she moved it slowly across his skin. Her face was inches from his, her silver hair falling forward like a curtain. I misjudged you, Lenara admitted, her eyes meeting his. When you arrived with my grandfather, I thought perhaps you were working with Trex. And now, Liam asked, his voice lower than he intended, now I think the universe has a strange way of bringing the right people together at the right time. The air between them seemed to thicken. Liam reached up, gently tucking a strand of silver hair behind her ear. Her skin was smooth and warm beneath his fingertips. Is this appropriate? He asked, suddenly aware of potential cultural differences. A smile played at her lips. My people believe in cosmic alignment. Moments when souls recognize each other across the void of space and time. And is that what's happening here? Instead of answering, Lenara leaned forward and pressed her lips to his. The kiss was tentative at first, then deepened as Liam responded, pulling her closer. Her body fit against his perfectly, as if designed by the same cosmic forces she described. When they finally separated, both breathing heavily, Lenara's amethyst eyes were dark with desire. My quarters are more comfortable than this medical bay, she whispered. Liam cupped her face in his hands. Are you sure? I've never been more certain of anything, she replied, taking his hand and leading him toward the door. The universe has brought us together in this moment of danger. Who are we to argue with cosmic forces? As they made their way through the lab toward the elevator, Liam caught Elon watching them with a knowing smile. The old scientist merely nodded, returning to his work without comment. In the privacy of Lenara's quarters, cultural differences melted away in the heat of mutual desire. Their coming together was both tender and passionate, a connection that transcended species and spoke to something more primal and universal. Afterward, as they lay entwined in the soft glow of Lenara's bioluminescent wall panels, Liam traced patterns on her emerald skin. That was cosmic, Lenara suggested with a playful smile. I was going to say out of this world, but yours is better. Her laughter was musical. You humans and your expressions. Liam propped himself up on one elbow, suddenly serious. Lenara, whatever happens with Trex and the Rosonium, I want you to know I'm in this until the end. Her amethyst eyes searched his. Because of duty? Or something else? Both, he admitted. I can't let Trex weaponize something that could help billions. But also, he paused, surprised by the intensity of his feelings after such a short time. Also because of you. Lenara's response was interrupted by an urgent chime from the communication panel beside her bed. Elon's voice came through, tense and hurried. Lenara, Liam, you need to come to the lab immediately. Our sensors have detected multiple ships entering orbit. It seems Director Trex has decided to handle this matter personally. Liam and Lenara rushed to the laboratory, their recent intimacy giving way to urgent focus. Elon stood before a massive holographic display showing multiple vessels entering the planet's atmosphere. 3 combat cruisers and at least a dozen smaller craft, Elon reported grimly. Trex isn't taking any chances. How long do we have? Liam asked, military training kicking in as he assessed the tactical situation. 30 minutes, perhaps less, Elon replied, manipulating the display to show the estate's layout. But we're not defenseless. This facility was designed with contingencies in mind. He pressed a sequence on the console, and sections of the laboratory transformed. Walls slid away to reveal weapon cache, and ceiling panels opened to expose defensive turrets. Impressive, Liam whistled. You've been preparing for this. When you possess something valuable, you must be ready to protect it, Elon said simply. Krell and his team can handle the perimeter, but we need someone to coordinate the defense. Liam nodded, understanding the unspoken request. I'll need a complete inventory of your defensive capabilities and a direct communication link to Krell. As Elon arranged this, Lenara approached Liam, her eyes reflecting a mixture of concern and determination. I've never seen this side of you, she said quietly. The soldier. It's been a while, he admitted. But some skills you never forget. She touched his face gently. Be careful. What we shared, I want the chance to explore it further. The tenderness in her voice stirred something in Liam. This wasn't just about protecting a revolutionary technology anymore. It was about protecting her, this connection they'd found across the stars. Count on it, he promised, briefly pressing his forehead against hers, a gesture that felt right despite their different species. Krell arrived with his security team, and Liam quickly established a command center. The estate's defenses were more substantial than he'd imagined. Automated turrets, shield generators, and even a small EMP array that could disable approaching vehicles. Krell, position your teams here and here, Liam directed, pointing to strategic locations on the holographic map. Focus on protecting the main access points to the underground facility. The security chief nodded, clearly impressed by Liam's tactical acumen. Your species has a remarkable aptitude for warfare. We prefer to call it conflict resolution, Liam replied with a grim smile. Sometimes the resolution just involves more firepower. While Krell deployed his forces, Elon and Lenara worked feverishly at a specialized workstation. What are you two working on? Liam asked during a brief lull in preparations. A specialized application of Rosonium, Elon explained. If properly calibrated, it could generate a harmonic pulse that disables their ship's systems without causing permanent damage. Non-lethal but effective, Liam nodded approvingly. How long? 20 minutes, Lenara answered, her fingers dancing across holographic controls. But we'll need to deploy it from the surface transmitter array. Liam frowned. That's exposed. Trex's forces will target it immediately. Then we'll need to hold them off long enough to activate it, Elon said firmly. The first proximity alarm sounded 15 minutes later, On the security feeds, Liam watched as sleek black shuttles descended toward the estate. Unlike the skull-masked infiltrators from earlier, these forces wore professional military-grade armor bearing the Helix Consortium insignia. "They're not even trying to hide their involvement," Lenara observed. "They don't need to," Liam replied. "Out here, corporate power trumps law." The first wave hit the perimeter defenses hard. Automated turrets tracked and fired, downing 2 shuttles, but the others adjusted their approach vectors and continued their advance. "Krell, fall back to position Beta," Liam ordered through the comm. "Draw them into the kill zone between the greenhouses." On the monitors, Krell's teams executed a strategic retreat, luring Trex's forces into a carefully prepared ambush. The resulting firefight was intense but brief, Krell's knowledge of the terrain giving his smaller force the advantage. "First wave contained," Krell reported, "but they're regrouping for a second push." "The harmonic pulse is ready," Lenara announced, "but we need to reach the transmitter array." Liam studied the tactical display. "There's a maintenance tunnel that runs from the east wing to the array control station. We can use that." "I'll go," Lenara volunteered. "I know the calibration sequence." "Not alone," Liam insisted. "I'm coming with you." Elon nodded in agreement. "I'll coordinate from here with Krell. The research data is already encrypted and ready for transmission to the Science Council once we've neutralized Trex's forces." Liam and Lenara armed themselves from the weapon cache, Liam selecting a compact pulse rifle that felt reassuringly similar to weapons he'd used in the expeditionary forces, while Lenara chose a sleek energy pistol. "Stay close," Liam instructed as they entered the maintenance tunnel, "and let me take point." The tunnel was narrow and dimly lit, forcing them to move in single file. Above them, they could hear the muffled sounds of combat as Trex's second wave engaged with Krell's defenders. "You're good at this," Lenara observed as they navigated a junction. "Leading, fighting, protecting." "Humans have had plenty of practice," Liam replied. "Our history is full of conflicts. We've learned from them." "My people have always valued harmony above all," Lenara said. "Sometimes I wonder if that makes us vulnerable." "Different approaches, different strengths," Liam responded. "That's why we're stronger together." They reached the access hatch to the transmitter control station, just as a massive explosion rocked the compound above. "That didn't sound good," Liam muttered. "Trex's cruisers must be providing orbital support," Lenara said, her face tightening with worry. "We need to hurry." Liam checked the small scanner Elon had provided. 2 hostiles in the control room. "Can we go around them?" "No time," Liam decided. "I'll create a diversion. When they're focused on me, you slip in and start the calibration sequence." Before Lenara could protest, Liam kissed her. Brief but intense. "For luck," he explained with a wink. "A human custom?" she asked, slightly breathless. "One of our better ones," he confirmed. With practiced efficiency, Liam burst from the access hatch, rolling to one side and firing 2 precise shots. The first caught one of Trex's operatives in the shoulder, spinning him around. The second shot disabled the operative's weapon. The remaining hostile turned to fire at Liam, giving Lenara the opening she needed to slip into the control room and reach the main console. Liam ducked behind a equipment rack as energy bolts sizzled past. "Any time now would be good, Lenara." "Almost there," she called back, fingers flying across the controls. "Calibrating the resonance frequency, inputting the harmonic sequence." The wounded operative was recovering, reaching for a backup weapon. Liam fired again, forcing him back into cover. "Lenara! Done!" she exclaimed triumphantly, pressing the final activation sequence. A deep, thrumming vibration filled the air as the transmitter array powered up. On the control room's monitors, they watched as Trex's ships suddenly lost power, their lights flickering and engines failing. The smaller craft began controlled descent procedures, while the larger cruisers drifted, their weapon systems offline. "It worked!" Lenara exclaimed, throwing her arms around Liam in celebration. Their moment of triumph was short-lived. The access door burst open, and a tall, imposing alien figure entered. Unlike the operatives, he wore no armor, only an immaculate black suit with the Helix Consortium emblem on the lapel. His skin was pale gray, and his eyes were unnaturally bright yellow. "Impressive," he said, his voice cultured and cold, "but ultimately futile." Liam raised his weapon, but the alien was faster. A small device in his hand emitted a pulse that sent Liam's nervous system into temporary chaos, dropping him to his knees. "Liam!" Lenara cried out. The alien regarded them with clinical detachment. "I am Director Trex, and you have something that belongs to me." Director Trex circled Liam's kneeling form with predatory satisfaction, the neural disruptor still humming in his gray-skinned hand. Lenara stood frozen, her amethyst eyes darting between Liam and the door, calculating her options. "You know," Trex said conversationally, "I've studied humans extensively. Fascinating species, so young in galactic terms, yet so disruptive." He pronounced the word like it left a bad taste in his mouth. "You upset established orders, challenge conventions, refuse to accept your proper place." Liam remained slumped forward, seemingly incapacitated, but inwardly he was surprised. The initial wave of paralyzing pain was already subsiding, replaced by a tingling sensation spreading through his limbs. His military training had included resistance to various neural weapons, but this was different. His body was naturally fighting off the effects faster than it should. "The Resonium technology belongs in responsible hands," Trex continued. "My hands. The galactic economy is delicately balanced. Free energy?" He scoffed. "It would cause chaos." "It would cause freedom," Lenara countered defiantly. "Freedom from corporations like yours that exploit resource scarcity." Trex's yellow eyes narrowed. "Idealism? How tiresome." He gestured toward Liam with the disruptor. "Your human friend here should remain incapacitated for at least 20 minutes. More than enough time for my teams to secure this facility and extract both you and your grandfather." 20 minutes? Liam had already regained sensation in his fingers. Whatever calibration Trex had used for the disruptor, it clearly wasn't optimized for human physiology. "You won't get away with this," Lenara said, edging slightly toward the console. "The Galactic Science Council already knows about my grandfather's work." "They know what he's chosen to share," Trex corrected smoothly. "Not the full potential of harmonic fusion, particularly its applications beyond mere energy production." Liam's eyes widened slightly at the implication. Weapons. Of course, Trex would see the military potential first. "My grandfather would never allow his work to be weaponized," Lenara insisted. "Your grandfather won't have a choice," Trex replied coldly. He tapped a communication device on his wrist. "Secure the laboratory. I have the granddaughter and the human." As Trex's attention momentarily shifted to his communication, Liam felt strength returning to his legs. Not full mobility yet, but close. He caught Lenara's eye and blinked twice, a silent signal. To her credit, she didn't react visibly, but he saw understanding flash in her eyes. "You know," Liam said, his voice deliberately slurred to maintain the illusion of incapacitation, "for someone so smart, you're making a pretty basic mistake." Trex turned back to him, surprised. "You shouldn't be able to speak coherently yet." Liam managed a weak grin. "That's the mistake I'm talking about. You're using alien tech calibrated for alien biology." Trex's yellow eyes widened in realization, but it was too late. Liam lunged forward, tackling the alien executive at the knees. They crashed to the floor, the neural disruptor skittering away across the polished surface. "Lenara, now!" Liam shouted as he grappled with Trex, who was surprisingly strong despite his corporate appearance. Lenara sprang into action, diving for the fallen disruptor while simultaneously activating her communicator. "Grandfather, Trex is here. Send Krell to the transmitter station." Trex drove his elbow into Liam's ribs, hitting one of the bruises from earlier fights. Liam grunted in pain but maintained his hold, using a wrestling technique to flip Trex onto his stomach. "You primitive ape!" Trex snarled, his cultured facade crumbling. "Do you have any idea who you're dealing with?" "Yeah," Liam replied, twisting Trex's arm behind his back. "A thief in an expensive suit. Not much different from those thugs who stole Elon's bag in the marketplace." Lenara had secured the disruptor and was now at the console, rapidly entering commands. "I'm locking down the station and activating the emergency protocols." Security doors slammed shut, sealing the three of them in the control room. Outside, alarms began to sound. Trex laughed despite his compromised position. "You've trapped yourselves with me. My forces will break through those doors in minutes." "Maybe," Liam acknowledged, maintaining his hold on the alien. "But that's all the time we need." On the monitors, they could see Krell and his security team rushing toward their position, engaging with Trex's operatives along the way. Meanwhile, another screen showed Elon in the laboratory, transmitting data packets to what appeared to be a Galactic Council vessel that had just entered orbit. "It's over, Trex," Lenara said, her voice steady. "The Council has the complete harmonic fusion research data, including evidence of your attempted theft and assault." For the first time, uncertainty flickered across Trex's face. The Council has no jurisdiction over Helix Consortium operations. "They do when it involves technology classified as a galactic public good," Lenara countered, "which is exactly how my grandfather's research is now designated." The sound of weapons fire outside grew closer. Liam maintained his hold on Trex, though his muscles were beginning to protest after the day's multiple confrontations. "You know what I find interesting?" Liam said conversationally to Trex. "This all started because I happened to trip a couple of your thugs who stole an old man's bag. Small actions, big consequences." "A momentary setback," Trex hissed. "Helix Consortium has resources beyond your imagination. This isn't over." The main door to the control room shuddered as something heavy impacted it from the outside. "Actually," came Elon's voice over the communication system, "I believe it is." The security feed showed a Galactic Council enforcement vessel deploying troops around the estate, their distinctive blue armor marking them as elite peacekeepers. "The Council takes a dim view of corporate executives personally leading armed assaults," Elon continued, "particularly when said executive has been under investigation for various violations already." Trex went still in Liam's grip. "What investigation?" "Did you think you were the only one with informants?" Elon replied, and Liam could hear the smile in the old scientist's voice. "The Council has been building a case against Helix for years. Your attack on my facility provided the final evidence they needed." The security door burst open, but instead of Trex's operatives, Krell entered with his team, followed by Council peacekeepers. "Director Trex," the lead peacekeeper announced formally, "you are detained pending investigation for corporate espionage, attempted theft of protected technology, and leading an unauthorized paramilitary action." As the peacekeepers took custody of Trex, Liam finally released his hold and stood, wincing at his various injuries. Lenara immediately moved to his side, supporting him with an arm around his waist. "Are you all right?" she asked, her eyes scanning him for new injuries. "Nothing that won't heal," he assured her, pulling her closer, "especially with the right medical attention." Her lips curved into a smile that promised more than just medical care. "I believe that can be arranged." As they exited the control station, they found Elon waiting for them, his face weary but triumphant. "It seems I continue to owe you debts, Liam Bradley." Liam shook his head. "No debts between friends, Elon." The old scientist's eyes twinkled as he looked between Liam and his granddaughter. "Friends? Is that what we're calling it?" Lenara's emerald skin darkened slightly in what Liam now recognized as a blush. "Grandfather." Elon laughed, the sound full of genuine joy despite the chaos around them. "Come, both of you. The Council representatives wish to speak with us, and then I believe we all deserve some rest." As they walked through the estate, now secured by Council peacekeepers, Liam kept Lenara close to his side. What had started with a simple act of kindness, returning a stolen bag to an old alien, had cascaded into something far greater, a revolutionary technology protected, a dangerous plot foiled, and most unexpectedly, a connection that transcended species. "What happens now?" Liam asked quietly. Lenara's amethyst eyes met his. "That depends. How long is your shore leave?" 6 months after the confrontation with Director Trex, Liam stood at the viewport of the Galactic Council's flagship, the Harmony, watching Earth grow larger in the distance. The blue-green marble of his homeworld stirred emotions he hadn't expected: pride, nostalgia, and a surprising eagerness to share this moment. "It's beautiful," Lenara said, joining him at the viewport. Her silver hair was braided elegantly, and she wore a formal council attire that complemented her emerald skin. "Just as you described." Liam slipped an arm around her waist, drawing her close. "Wait until you see it up close. Pictures don't do justice to the Grand Canyon or the Northern Lights." "I can't believe I'm finally meeting your family," she said, a hint of nervousness in her voice. "They're going to love you," Liam assured her, kissing her forehead. "My mother's already planning a traditional Bradley family barbecue in your honor. Is that the ritual involving fire and animal protein you mentioned? Liam laughed. That's the one. Don't worry, we've prepared some plant-based alternatives that should be compatible with your physiology. Their relationship had deepened in the months following the incident at Elon's estate. What began as attraction amid crisis had blossomed into something neither had expected. A partnership that bridged their different worlds. Liam had resigned from his transport pilot position to join Elon's Harmonic Fusion Initiative, a council-sponsored program implementing the revolutionary energy technology across struggling colonies. His practical experience and military background complemented Lenara's scientific expertise and Elon's visionary leadership. Nervous about the ceremony? Lenara asked, changing the subject. Liam shrugged. A bit. I'm not used to being the center of attention. In 3 days, the Galactic Council would hold a formal recognition ceremony honoring Elon's contribution to science and Liam's role in protecting it. The event would be broadcast across Council space, the first time a human would receive the Council's highest civilian honor. You deserve it, Lenara said firmly. If not for you, Trex would have weaponized grandfather's technology. I just tripped a couple of thieves, Liam said with a self-deprecating smile. Everything else was just follow-through. Lenara turned to face him fully, her amethyst eyes serious. That's what makes humans so remarkable, Liam. You act without calculating all the consequences. You see injustice and respond instinctively. And sometimes that gets us into trouble, he pointed out. And sometimes it changes the galaxy, she countered, rising on her toes to kiss him softly. A discreet chime interrupted them. Ambassador Bradley, Lady Terrace, came the ship's AI voice. Professor Terrace requests your presence in the conference room. The council representatives have arrived for the pre-landing briefing. Liam still wasn't used to his new title. Ambassador had been the council's solution to giving him official standing within their diplomatic framework. Duty calls, he sighed, taking Lenara's hand as they left the viewport. The conference room was already filled with various council officials when they arrived. Elon, looking more energetic than Liam had ever seen him, was enthusiastically explaining something to a cluster of attentive aliens. Ah, here they are, Elon exclaimed, beckoning them over. The real heroes of our story. Hardly, Liam demurred. You're the genius who created harmonic fusion. But what good is creation without protection? Countered Counselor Neth, a tall, willowy alien with iridescent skin. Your actions exemplify why the Council has been advocating for greater human integration into galactic affairs. Speaking of integration, Elon said with a twinkle in his eye, have you told them your other announcement? Liam and Lenara exchanged glances, their hands instinctively intertwining. We were waiting for the right moment, Lenara explained. What better moment than now, Elon encouraged. Liam took a deep breath. In addition to implementing harmonic fusion technology, Lenara and I are establishing an interspecies cultural exchange program. We believe technological advancement must be accompanied by cultural understanding. Our relationship has shown us how much humans and other species can learn from each other, Lenara continued. We want to formalize that exchange. The council representatives murmured approvingly. And on a more personal note, Liam added, his voice softening as he looked at Lenara, we're formalizing our partnership as well, according to both human and terrace traditions. This announcement generated even more enthusiastic responses, with several council members offering congratulations in their native languages. A human-alien union of this prominence will do much to advance interspecies relations, Councillor Neth observed, particularly with a couple so directly tied to harmonic fusion. As the briefing continued, Liam found his thoughts drifting back to that fateful day in Port Nexus. How different his life would have been if he'd walked down another street, or if he'd ignored the theft happening before his eyes. One small act of decency had cascaded into galaxy-changing consequences. Later that evening, in their private quarters aboard the Harmony, Liam and Lenara lay entwined in each other's arms, the soft glow of Earth visible through their viewport. Do you ever regret it? Lenara asked, tracing patterns on his chest. Getting involved that day? Not for a second, Liam replied without hesitation. Best impulsive decision I ever made. She laughed softly. My grandfather says humans have a gift for making the right choices without knowing why they're right. And what do you think? He asked, running his fingers through her silk and silver hair. I think she said, lifting herself to look into his eyes. That the universe knew exactly what it was doing when it placed you on that street at that moment. Their lips met in a tender kiss that deepened with familiar passion. Their physical connection had only grown more profound with time. The initial awkwardness of interspecies intimacy giving way to a harmony that mirrored their emotional bond. "I love you," Liam whispered against her skin, "across galaxies and beyond." "And I you," she replied, her body moving in perfect synchrony with his. "My cosmic alignment." As they celebrated their love, Earth continued its rotation below them, the homeworld of humanity, a species whose impulsive courage and innate sense of justice had earned them both wariness and respect throughout the galaxy. In 2 days, they would stand before the Council and the representatives of Earth, symbols of what could be achieved when different worlds came together. Their story, beginning with a simple act of kindness and culminating in a technology that would transform countless lives, would inspire others for generations. But for now, in this moment, they were simply Liam and Lenara, two beings who had found each other across the vast expanse of space, proving that sometimes the greatest adventures begin with the smallest actions. And it had all started because a human male had tripped some alien thugs who stole an elderly alien's bag.